Welcome to Fireteam Chat, IGN's Destiny show. Thank you so much for joining me. Joining me also is Travis.
McClunky.
And Brian Malkowitz.
C-Team.
How's it going, Brian? Brian's a little laggy today. He's having an off day with the internets. But
yes.
Yeah, on today's show, it's a light Destiny week. It's going to be a shorter show this time. But thank you so much for joining us. We're going to talk about the new Haunted Forest and what we learned in the most recent TWAB. I'm going to be up front with our audience for a second. I have not been playing Destiny. I'm not enticed by the Haunted Forest. I do like some of the cosmetics that are up there, but I think a lot of people are just taking this time right now to do other things, like play other games or just focus on other projects, and that's absolutely okay. But I just want to give you a heads up. I'm not going to fake it. I'm not playing the game right now. I have really important life stuff going on. And honestly, I haven't really been playing much of anything. I'm working on this exciting project for IGN, but we are still here to talk about Destiny. And one of the things that I do want to continue doing in Destiny, I'm just going to put a call out to the community. This coming Tuesday and every Tuesday until Beyond Light at 8 p.m. Pacific time, I am going to run the raid where you get the catalyst for the fusion. God, I just totally...
Oh, Eater of Worlds.
Yeah. Yes, I'm going to run Eater of Worlds every week. I am happy to Sherpa you through it. I play on PC. I'm going to pin a comment on this episode once it goes public around 6 p.m. Friday, October 2nd. And if you want to join, just join. First come, first serve. I can do it through text. It's just a jumping puzzle, basically. That's the hard part. And then you just kind of kill the boss. So,
well, are you doing it 3 times a week to make sure that you get the maximum amount of chances for it?
That's why I'm putting a call to the community, because the PC LFG has been so sparse that I find myself just sitting there waiting when I do want to play. And honestly, that's the only thing I still have yet to do before Beyond Light hits. I was curious to ask you guys, is there anything you're still chasing or are even caring about right now?
Personally, like I have a group of friends who we just, for some reason, we keep putting it off, but we want to finish the Rat King catalyst because we've never actually done it.
I have to do it, Brian. There. So hit me.
Okay, yeah, for sure. It's like I need to finish it because it's definitely going to go away, or at least reset. I don't know what's happening with it. Right? They haven't really exactly specifically said, but
the old catalysts I don't believe are affected. It's only the newer ones. Like they're not going to take it away from you.
If you haven't completed it, I don't know. I think we might have talked about it already.
Rat King is not one of the ones you need to be concerned about. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's fair. But still, it's something that I need to complete. But like we've just been putting it off and off and off. But I mean, it kind of just goes down to what you said, right? Like, there's not a whole lot happening in the game, so it's like we're taking our time elsewhere to other games to complete, because there's a bunch of games that are like starting to trickle out, and all that, and plus Destiny Beyond Light is butting heads with some really big hits this year, so it's going to be kind of crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah. What about you, Travis? You playing anything else, or are you still on the Destiny grind?
I'm still on the Destiny grind, but I'm also working on a review for IGN Genshin Impact, which is kind of like a Destiny-like game.
The Destiny
which is taking a ton of my time.
The Destiny killer.
Definitely not.
The yearly Destiny killer.
Honestly, the audience for these two games could not be the more different. I think the only person that's playing both of them is me and Paul Tassi. We're like the only people playing both of these games. Anyway,
I just told you that I'm playing.
What's that?
Onlyfans.com/Paul Tassi if you want to see more.
That's right. Yeah.
I just told you right before we recorded, Travis, that I was playing Genshin Impact.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and you insult me by immediately telling the entire world that I'm not playing that game.
Okay, well there you go. So yeah, but I have been playing Destiny. I try to log in at least every week and just do a few Crucible matches or keep my feet wet. But the things I have to do, I'm done with the Rat King catalyst. I actually do have to get the Telesto catalyst, Destin. So if you're grinding the catalyst, I'll do it with you on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. That works for me. So
Tuesday at 8 p.m. Look at the pin comment. I'm just going to put my join code in there and just say first come first serve. All
right. Well, make sure I'm in your party before you do that. Don't make me fight Destin to play with you.
I'll keep it locked for you, man.
Thanks, man.
So
Yeah,
keep
so
it off
I mean, I have to.
Yeah.
I have two catalysts I need to get, which are Telesto and Legend of Acreus, and I think I've actually seen people post in the comments for these videos that they're willing to help me through it. So I just need to take somebody up on that offer and just grind it out before it's
Acris
over.
isn't a random drop, is it? Isn't it guaranteed if you get prestige, or is that the?
No,
Is that the?
I've
Oh, you
done
know,
prestige.
I'm thinking of the ornament you get for Acris.
Yeah.
That comes from prestige. Yeah.
Yeah, so the catalyst is random, and I've done prestige a bunch of times, just haven't gotten it to drop. So
Yeah,
I'm
I mean
probably gonna
that
have to grind
catalyst
something.
changes that gun drop dramatically.
I know. That's like one that's been on my list, but the problem is doing prestige in that raid is A, super hard to find a group, and B, not fun at all. So
Are you guys
Rather
actually
than
having
that.
difficulty in the Destiny Discord, the LFG Discord? Is that what you
Yep.
guys are using?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah,
I find that hard to.
nobody likes that raid, and nobody's really running it because they have the catalyst. Like, why would you run that?
You're
High
right.
stat
I mean,
gear,
you're right.
You know.
Well, I mean,
And-
you know,
and
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the other event coming up is also like they're doing double drops in the strikes again, which I'm really glad because I missed the Lake of Shadows one, unfortunately. But I figure like, okay, I have some pretty good stats. I have some, I don't know, pretty high T stats. I can't remember what like the loadout maximized is right now. It used to be like T10 or whatever, but now it's I can't even remember. But yeah, I might just go ahead and masterwork some of that stuff. And
Yeah, you might as
they're
well. I
gonna be
mean,
doing
like
it
the
again.
double drop. Yeah, so Garden of World. I mean, you might as well stack up on your shards and your enhancement prisms and masterwork whatever you can while the rewards are hot. Because if you just do the 1081, like the enhancement prisms just drop like crazy.
Right. And are you guys preparing your loadouts for the campaign of Beyond Light, like what you're going to be using day one for all your slots and everything?
Yeah,
I haven't been
already
doing
have-
that. That's a good idea.
Brian, you first.
I was going to say I haven't not been doing that, but it's probably a good idea that I do that because, you know, with any other, assuming that Bungie releases the raid that Friday or that Saturday, you're probably going to want to start playing the campaign with your least played character leading up to your most played character. So that way you maximize your light. So I'll probably be doing that too. So.
All right. We've been extra stumbly with the questions lately, and commenters pointed it out. So I'll call on you guys when we have a talking point.
right.
I think.
You don't want to talk over each other?
No, we don't want to talk over each other.
What do you mean?
Audience hates it. But anyway, to answer your question, Travis, for me, I am going to be going with Long Shadow on my primary. And this is a PvP loadout because I need a sniper. Gnawing Hunger, sorry. And I've been using Temptation's Hook. I really like the range aspect of Temptation's Hook. And then, I have a T31 is what it is called in Dim this time around. And that's what I'm doing. What about you? Do you got a set?
No, I'm just decided I'm gonna wing it, man. Like I've tried hard really badly in the past to like grind through the expansions and then always end up burned out. And I think I'm reviewing this one for IGN. I don't really know yet. We'll probably figure that out. But yeah, I'm just gonna go in and try to just casual it at the beginning because it never matters anyway. I end up switching out all my legendaries for blues that are slightly higher power, so I'm sure it's not gonna matter.
Yeah, I mean that's what you do at the beginning of a campaign, right? It's like
Yeah.
you don't infuse, right? Like you can choose like the armor that you want to use later on in the game, so long as that the armor hasn't been sunset. But I mean, like just kind of like keep it off to the side, and then as you're leveling it up, swap out for those blues without dismantling those legendaries you want to use, and then start infusing later when you're getting closer to light cap.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So I'm not trying to go in with a preconceived loadout. I'm just going to wing it. Is my plan.
Because you might get something better along the way.
Yeah. The old Swapperoo strat. That's definitely what I will be doing. Yeah. So to recap, we all hate Destiny. No, I'm just kidding. We're playing other stuff right now. It's kind of a downtime in the game. We're probably going to stack some enhancement prisms next week. And help me
get
out
those
with the
catalysts.
raid. Help me out the raid.
I will not be joining you for that.
You won't be?
I already have the catalyst, man. I don't need to do that raid.
I understand.
Where's the
I don't know if I
Brotherhood?
would do it either. All right, so Festival of the Lost begins October 6th. I forgot the Injustice assets. So we're looking at a YouTube video, and it's being weird. So, yeah. So anyway, Festival of the Lost. Oh, I can click it while it's playing. There we go. Festival of the Lost is happening right around the corner, and they're going to have rewards, including things wrapped in bandages and the masks.
That's right, mummified stuff.
And the masks we've already acquired several times. Major props to whoever did the trailer, though. I really, really enjoyed the metal music within. That was a fun change for sure. Do you guys have like a really good Braytech werewolf already? I know there's new perks on it, but like it's such a minuscule gain that I wasn't too concerned about it.
Braytech werewolf has not had random rolls yet. Same with horror stories. So like everybody's probably still got the same exact rolls. The random rolls for Braytech and horror stories start next week. Even though you can
also get higher maximum power capacity for these weapons, and I think you can get that now by pulling them out
by pulling it from
collections.
Your collections. Which, if you already had it pulled out, so it probably just didn't already update the gun that you already had in your inventory?
It did not. I think I dismantled one and grabbed one from my collection.
I mean, we've had the sunsetting talk a million times. I don't want to get back into it.
I assume it's being sunset.
The one that if you currently have it in your inventory because you can pull one now from collections and it's not going to be sunset. But if you already had it in your inventory, then yes, it will be sunset.
Yeah. I think there's potential for some cool rolls.
I just want to say, I absolutely love and relish in seeing all these articles where everybody has done a full 360 and they're like, maybe the sunsetting kind of sucks, because I was vehement about why it was bad and why it's going to be a problem in the immediate future and it's only going to compound down the road. And everyone was like, Destin, you don't even know the name of that exotic bow you were talking about this week. What do you know? And wow, it turns out the game I played for 4 years and have gone through these cycles, it turns out I had a good sense of problems that might have arose for the player base.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? You still stoked about sunsetting? Let's talk about how great that system's going to be.
I'll be honest. I'm still sticking to my guns on this. I think it's lose-lose. I think if you keep all the old guns, it means that you have to worry about there being a gun that just plagues the community for years to come, like Mountaintop, until it eventually gets nerfed. And if you sunset, you at least have the opportunity to create new weapons. The problem is Bungie's strategy for sunsetting isn't working. It's the way they're doing it. It's the weapons they're replacing it with. They're just making the same weapons over again or reskinning them and coming up with a new role for them. And that's literally, I think when we were talking about this, we said, as long as they don't do that, this will be a good idea.
And they did it immediately.
Exactly that. Yeah, they're doing exactly the thing we hoped they wouldn't do.
Yes.
So
if they, I'm still like holding out hope in a way. Like I've already been pretty vocal that like the way that sunsetting has currently been handled is not at all like player beneficial in any way. Especially with what's happening with Braytech, Wolf, and Horror Story, or Werewolf. I forget what it's called. And it's so the ones that you've currently had in your inventory, if you like those weapons a lot and you used them a lot, you have the kill counters on them. And those are, basically, those are being carried forward into any weapons that you pull out of your collections or any new ones that you get during Festival of Lost. But what I mean by I'm holding out hope is that we're going into Beyond Light. And presumably that's going to just be a big old shakeup of the loot pool. And how many guns we get in the game and such like that. And so it's like hoping that next season isn't just a dump of a bunch of old guns that we've already had and just putting a new sticker on them and calling them new and have a better power cap. So we'll see. I'm still holding out hope. Cautiously optimistic, as everybody likes to say.
It's super interesting for me as somebody that, things came up and I fell off the hamster wheel. It's harder to come back to it, because it's just like, am I going to sign on and go for Braytech, Werewolf, and Horror Story? Why?
Yeah,
I have great ARs from Iron Banner already that are going to last a year. Do I really need another AR? And they still haven't solved the collection issue, so it's not even checking off that box. It's just my inventory is at maximum capacity. So right now I have to go through and just start deleting stuff that I don't use that much. And they haven't clarified how transmog's going to look. So I'm just sitting here with a disaster inventory, and now they're just constantly introducing new weapons. And I'm just like, no, not until you fix the inventory system. There's no reason for me to acquire more than I already have, because basically I wasted 2 years grinding out a bunch of stuff that, like, yeah, okay, like, maybe wasted's a little bit strong, but like I have all this stuff that I can't use that needs to be deleted. It's just like obsolete now, but I also struggle with not wanting to delete it because if I want to retain that look and I need to reacquire that piece, there's stuff that isn't easy to reacquire, which is why I imagine they're not going to do that. Anyway, that's a little bit of a ramble about the inventory thing. Hey, we made it 15 minutes before I complained about my inventory. That is
that's a record.
World record for sure. And what do you think they should do about vault space, Dustin?
Just fix the collection. They have the collection system. That's all they have to do. Just toggle on for random rolls. Period.
I like how you asked it ironically and he answered unironically and he's going into his tirade.
Yeah. I agree though, you're right. They do need to do something. I don't think collections can be as simple as toggle random rolls on, but more of like ingesting a weapon that you like, a roll that you like the most, and that's the only one you can ever pull from collections unless you overwrite it someday. But yeah.
This is a cool thing I just noticed in the TWAB. Also, going back to Festival of the Lost, they have a guide for it now. It's like a walkthrough about how the caches work and what you can get. I don't have Horror Story, by the way, because I do not like Festival
of the Lost.
So absolutely negative this episode, like more than usual. I don't like the Haunted Forest. I don't enjoy the grind to get these weapons, and just like there's nothing going on in Destiny right now. I apologize to the fans out there. You've probably turned it off already, but like, I don't know, man. What am I going to do? I'm just going to say, oh, yay, Festival of the Lost is back for the third time where we're doing the same thing and grinding for the same guns that are going to go away in a year. It's
all right.
Blah.
Justin, how about this? Assuming that the Infinite Forest is going away because it's part of Mercury and Mercury is going into the vault, what do you hope next year's Festival of Lost will be like? Assuming that they're not going to just do the same thing and send us back to this literal horror story that is called the Haunted Forest.
So for me, the thing that I like most about Destiny is when there's any sort of narrative attachment to like the exotic. Traveler's Chosen had like narrative to it, even if it was in the Grimoire, like you had to read a lot of the text, or the tree thing where there's some story narrative. This one does have a compelling weapon, so they have that going for it. But the grind is so monotonous that it's just not fun to continually run over and over and over again. It's really, really, really grindy. And you're in the Infinite Forest, a location that I would say a lot of people are fatigued by. So how do you improve it? You got to start from scratch. You got to do something different.
I mean, they have to, right? Next year they have to start from scratch with the Festival of Lost. They can't bring back the Infinite Forest. Like, it doesn't make sense lore wise.
They could though. Anyway,
they could.
I'm assuming that they're not going to.
They could. They could just make it a downloadable 4 gigabyte thing. It's only that section, and then you're just running this.
Well, no, it's
resource wise.
It's just the lore. The lore reason, like world reason. It's like, why are we in the Infinite Forest if we can't go to Mercury? Because we've evacuated Mercury. Why are
You're
we
meditating?
There? You know, damn it, Justin.
There's always an out, dude. It's space.
There's an out. You're right.
There's always an out.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, that's how you continue to piss off your player base, right? Like, I think most people are expressing their disinterest, and I think the Haunted Forest was fine the first couple times around, right? Because it's like, hey, the Infinite Forest, but with the lights off, that was cool and spooky for a while. But then it's like, you know, after the first time, it's like, all right, I'm kind of bored. But they bring it back at a second time. You're like, you know what, got kind of reinvigorated because I, you know, new weapon, haven't done it in a year. But then, you know, the third time you're like, oh, but it's the same 2 weapons we got the last time, and nothing has changed in the Infinite Forest except for like the structure and how you get chests, which is like, does it matter?
I mean, never want to go back to the Infinite Forest ever again. I hope Bungie deletes the code and erases all the assets for that area so it can never be brought back to life.
No, it's going into the content vault. It's going into the content vault, and you'll see it again absolutely someday. I mean, they'll probably revamp it somehow, because if they brought it back in the way that it exists now, you're going to lose people, right? There's like, when you brought out Curse of Osiris, people were just upset. That was just probably the lowest point in Destiny history that I can remember. If you guys can correct me on that, but I personally think that Curse of Osiris was Destiny at its lowest point. So if they do bring back Infinite Forest, I think it's going to be way different than what we have seen in the game currently.
Do you guys remember that time Zur had those bounties and we had to go into the Infinite Forest, and if we didn't get the particular enemy to spawn that we needed to kill to get the orbs to complete the Zur bounty that week, you just had to quit the strike and restart it. Remember that?
I do remember
Stuff like that. How does that happen? Anyway.
Oh my god.
Travis,
yeah,
so you're super stoked about it and positive.
Man, I'm going to be positive here and say you don't have to play it if you don't want to. That's honestly the most positive thing I can come up with right now. Because, look, I'm probably going to play it. I'm going to grind and get, the ship or the ghost or whatever. But I'm not going to kill myself over it. I'm not going to try to get every triumph. My philosophy on Destiny is play as much as you're enjoying. Log off. If you have to play other games or whatever, take a break. That's not the end of the world. Destiny isn't the only game. It's not the only way to spend your time. And, never play Destiny to the point where you hate it and yourself, because we've all been there. We've all played Destiny to that point, and I'm going to try not to. But there's some cool cosmetics. I hope you can earn some of them. I'm sure I'm wrong and that you will not be able to earn any of them.
No, I think the mummy stuff is earnable in game. I don't.
Yes. All the hardcore heavy metal rock star stuff, all the emotes.
Oh yeah, no. You're paying for all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the ship, Sparrow, and Ghost, I believe, are all the mummy stuff. I think are all earnable in game.
Here's a look
hopefully
at the
these are earnable. These are cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got Titan over there with a Bondo on his helmet so that it stays together. You got the dapper looking Warlock, and you have
which is the coolest part of Festival of Lost is the Warlock's
hunter
robes.
That hunter mask is sick. I do like that hunter mask a lot.
Yeah, that's cool. I've always wanted to get my Titan a nicely tailored suit, but the Warlock is getting closer to that than I ever have this time.
Mm-hmm.
We do have to keep it short this week because Travis has a real job that he needs to make a meeting for in about 5 minutes. Real quick, I do want to say something positive about Bungie. There was an article about how Bungie has used Destiny to do a lot of good, and we must always remember that they do have the Bungie Foundation, so when you do buy stuff from their store, a lot of that goes right to charity, which is an excellent thing. Every year there's the Destiny convention, which is now called GCX, I believe. And
it's not Guardian. What is that called?
GCX.
But
it used to be called, I don't know, it's gone through 2 name changes. But the point is it raises money for charity every year. And, the guys over there, Professor Broman and Gathalion and partnership with Bungie, that's a really, really great thing. And the positive thing about the particular event this week, I do like these cosmetics. So there, see? I came full circle.
You found the positivity.
I had to say something nice at the end of it. Travis, anything else before we go? Anything to all your fans, McClunky fans?
Yeah, all my McClunky fans, look for my Genshin Impact review on IGN some point within the next week or two.
Brian?
How many McClunky fans are there?
I have a dozen followers, okay? A dozen.
All right. Well, a little bit of a shorter episode this week. I fully appreciate how weird this one was, but thank you for watching regardless, everybody. I appreciate you for continuing to watch this show after it being online for so many years and allowing me to keep complaining. But that's it for this episode, everybody. We will be back next week. And until next time, everybody, Guardians
out.